Richard Blackwell handed four women four identical black cards and said the words that would change everything. You have 72 hours. Unlimited spending. Buy whatever you want. No restrictions. This card will cover it. Consider it a test. The first three women smiled, started planning shopping trips, luxury stores, jewelry, designer clothes, but the fourth woman, Emma Rodriguez, looked at the card in her hand and felt sick, because she knew this wasn't generosity. It was a trap, a test, and she had no idea what the right answer was. All she knew was that her daughter Lily needed a wheelchair, a real one, not the broken donated one they'd been using for 3 years, and this man had just given her a way to get it. But at what cost? Richard Blackwell was 68 years old, self-made billionaire, started with nothing, built a pharmaceutical empire, now worth $4 billion, developed treatments for rare diseases, saved thousands of lives, made enormous profits. Richard believed in capitalism, in wealth creation, but he also believed in giving back, donated hundreds of millions to charity over the years, hospitals, schools, research programs. But he'd become cynical. Too many charities wasted money. Too many people claimed to care but really just wanted their piece. So Richard developed a test, a way to find out who was real, who actually cared, who would use resources wisely instead of selfishly. He'd done this test 3 times before, always the same result. People revealed their true nature when given unlimited money. Most were selfish, greedy, proved they couldn't be trusted with real responsibility. But Richard kept trying, kept hoping to find someone different, someone worthy. This time, he'd chosen 4 women, all connected to his company. First was Victoria Ashford, 35, corporate attorney, sharp, ambitious, dropping hints about wanting to run his charitable foundation. Richard wanted to see if she was serious about charity or just seeking power. Second was Jennifer Morrison, 42, wife of a board member, country club lunches and charity galas, always talking about causes. Richard wanted to see what she'd do with real money, no oversight. Third was Diane Chen, 28, marketing executive, smart, talented. Recently pitched him on a program helping underprivileged kids get health care. Richard wanted to see if her passion was real or just career posturing. And fourth was Emma Rodriguez, 33, waitress at the restaurant Richard ate lunch at every Tuesday. Been working there 2 years. Single mother. He knew because he'd overheard her talking, knew her daughter had cerebral palsy, knew Emma worked 2 jobs, knew she struggled. But she was always kind, always smiled, always treated everyone with respect. Richard wanted to know what she'd do with money. He called them all Monday morning, separately, gave each the same speech. I'm looking for someone to help me run a new charitable initiative, a foundation focused on medical access for low-income families, budget of $50 million annually. But I need to know I can trust whoever runs it, so I'm giving you a test. Take this card. You have 72 hours. Buy whatever you want. No limits, no restrictions. After 72 hours, we'll meet again. You'll show me what you purchased. That will tell me everything I need to know. Each woman took the card. Each asked the same question. What are you looking for? Richard gave the same answer. I'll know it when I see it. Victoria left already planning. She'd buy strategically. Things that showed thoughtfulness, charity, intelligence, designer clothes, but also donations to visible charities. Make herself look perfect. Jennifer left, planning a shopping spree. This was a gift. Why not enjoy it? She'd buy what she wanted. Show Richard she appreciated finer things. Pivot to charity talk later. Diane left confused. Was this a test of restraint? Excess? Generosity? She needed to figure out the right answer. Emma left terrified. If you're watching this, leave a comment with your city. Emma went straight to the restaurant. Her shift started at 11. Already running late. Put the card in her purse. Tried not to think about it, but she couldn't stop. Unlimited money. 72 hours. She could buy Lily's wheelchair. The good one. Insurance refused to cover $8,000. She could afford it with this card. But was that selfish? Was Richard testing if she'd spend on herself? Or testing if she'd spend on others? Or testing restraint? Maybe the right answer was not using the card at all. Emma didn't know. She'd never had money. Never understood how rich people thought. She served them lunch every day. Smiled. Brought their food. But she didn't understand them. Didn't know their rules. Their games. And now she was supposed to play. With stakes she didn't understand. That evening, she picked up Lily from the neighbor. Lily was 8, bright, funny, beautiful, born with cerebral palsy, couldn't walk without support, used a wheelchair, old, donated from hospital, broken footrest, torn seat, wheels that stuck. Lily never complained, but Emma saw how other kids looked at her, saw how embarrassed Lily got, saw how hard everything was. Emma made dinner. Mac and cheese, the box kind. $1.50. Lily ate, talked about school, about her friend Sarah's birthday party Saturday at a park. With playground equipment, Lily's face fell. I probably can't do the playground stuff. The wheelchair doesn't work on grass. Emma's heart broke. We'll figure it out, honey. You can still go. I know, but I wish I could do what the other kids do. After Lily was asleep, Emma sat at the kitchen table, pulled out the black card, looked at it. $8,000 for a wheelchair. Could she spend $8,000 of this man's money on her own daughter? Was that the test? Or was the test to see if she'd be selfless, donate to others? She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Victoria went shopping. Nordstrom, 3 designer outfits, $8,000 total. Jewelry store, Cartier bracelet, $15,000. Then donated $10,000 to Children's Hospital. Got a receipt. Building a narrative. Successful, stylish, charitable, thoughtful. $40,000 in 6 hours. Good optics. Jennifer went to Tiffany's. Diamond necklace. $30,000. Louis Vuitton. 6 bags. $40,000 more. Spa. Full-day treatment. $2,000. Enjoying herself. Free money. Why not indulge? She'd worry about charity angle later. Write a check before the meeting. Diane agonized. Bought nothing the first day. Researched charities. Trying to figure out what would impress Richard. Ended up donating $15,000 to 3 different medical charities. Got receipts. Bought herself one modest outfit. $300. Playing it safe, smart, restrained. Emma worked her shift. Came home. Sat with the card. Lily asked what was wrong. Nothing, honey. Just tired. You're always tired, Mama. Emma smiled. I'm okay, I promise. But she wasn't okay. She was drowning. The card felt like it was burning. That night, Emma's other job started. Midnight shift at a packaging warehouse, 3 nights a week, 4 hours, minimum wage, every dollar mattered. Got home 5 a.m., slept 2 hours, got Lily ready for school, went back to the restaurant. This was her life, working constantly, sleeping barely, trying to give Lily everything with nothing to give. Thursday afternoon, 36 hours left, Emma made a decision. Looked up medical supply stores, found one specializing in pediatric wheelchairs, drove there after her shift, walked in, told them what she needed. They showed her options, the good wheelchair, designed for kids with cerebral palsy, proper support, adjustable. Would grow with Lily, wheels that worked on any surface. Cost $8,300. Emma pulled out the card. I'll take it. The saleswoman processed payment. It went through, just like that. $8,000. Gone. Emma felt dizzy. She'd done it. Bought something for herself. For Lily. Failed the test. Probably. But Lily would have a wheelchair that worked. That was worth failing. She arranged delivery for Saturday morning, left the store, sat in her car, cried, then looked at the card again, still active, still unlimited. An idea formed. She drove to the children's hospital, walked to the main desk. I want to donate for families who can't afford medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, whatever kids need. The woman looked surprised. That's very generous. How much were you thinking? I don't know. What do these things cost? Depends. Wheelchairs range from 5 to 15,000. Walkers are cheaper. Braces, other equipment. Adds up fast. Emma did math. She'd spent 8,000. Selfish. Now she needed to balance it. Spend more on others than herself. I want to donate enough for 5 wheelchairs. 5 kids who need them. The woman calculated. That would be approximately $50,000. Are you sure? Emma handed her the card. Yes. Payment went through. $50,000. Emma stared at the receipt. She'd just spent $58,000 of someone else's money, but also something else. Satisfied. She'd helped 5 other kids, 5 families struggling like she was. That had to count for something. Friday morning, Emma thought about the people in her life who needed help. The elderly neighbor who watched Lily for free despite barely making rent. The co-worker whose wife's medical bills were crushing him. She went to the bank, wired money to both. $10,000 to Mrs. Chen, $25,000 to Miguel for his wife's diabetes treatments, left notes saying anonymous donor. Both called her crying. She told them the same thing. Someone who could afford it wanted to help. Take it. Use it. By Friday afternoon, she'd spent $93,000, 8 for Lily, 50 for 5 hospital kids, 35 for 2 people she knew who were drowning. That left one day and unlimited money still on the card. She drove to the homeless shelter downtown, walked in, asked to speak to the director. I want to donate for supplies, food, whatever you need. The director looked skeptical. We appreciate any amount. What if it wasn't any amount? What if it was whatever you actually need? What's your biggest expense? Honestly, rent. We're in a temporary space. Landlord wants $15,000 a month. We've been behind. He's threatening eviction. If we lose this space, we have nowhere to take these people. How much do you owe? 3 months, $45,000. Emma pulled out the card. I'll cover it, and I'll pay for the next 6 months. That's $135,000 total. The director stared. Are you serious? Yes. Process it now. They processed payment. $135,000. The director was crying. You just saved this shelter, saved 50 people who live here. I don't know how to thank you. Emma left, sat in her car. She'd now spent $228,000, most on other people. She'd failed the test. Probably. Rich people didn't give away this much money, did they? Or maybe they did. She didn't know, didn't care anymore. She'd helped people who needed help. That was enough. Saturday morning, the wheelchair arrived. Lily saw it, screamed with joy. Mama, is this for me? Yes, baby. It's yours. Lily climbed in, rolled around the apartment, smooth, easy, perfect. Mama, I can go to the party. I can go on the grass. Emma cried. Worth it. Whatever happened Monday, this was worth it. Monday morning came. Emma dressed in her nicest clothes, clean jeans, blouse from Goodwill, drove to Richard's office, took elevator to 40th floor, walked into waiting room. The other 3 women were there. Victoria, Jennifer, Diane. They looked confident, Victoria wearing one of her new outfits. Jennifer had Tiffany necklace on. Diane looked calm, prepared. Emma felt out of place, underdressed, poor. The secretary called them in. Richard's office was huge, floor-to-ceiling windows, views of entire city. 4 women sat. Richard looked at each. Well, 72 hours are up. Let's see what you bought. Victoria, you first. Victoria smiled, pulled out receipts, designer clothes, jewelry, but also charity donations. I invested in myself, professional attire for representing your foundation, but I also donated $10,000 to Children's Hospital. Balance between professional presentation and charitable giving. Richard nodded, made notes. Jennifer. Jennifer showed receipts, luxury items. Then a check she'd written Sunday night. $5,000 to cancer research. I believe in enjoying life, but also giving back. I purchased items I've wanted. Then made a donation to a cause I care about. Richard made notes. Diane. Diane showed receipts, modest personal purchases, substantial charity donations. I focused on charitable giving. $15,000 to 3 different medical charities. Minimal personal spending. Demonstrated restraint and focus on others. Richard nodded, then looked at Emma. Emma. Emma pulled out receipts, hands shaking. I bought a wheelchair for my daughter. $8,000. She has cerebral palsy. Her old one was broken. Then I donated $50,000 for 5 wheelchairs for other kids at the hospital. Then I gave $10,000 to my neighbor who watches my daughter. She's elderly and struggles. Then I gave $25,000 to a coworker for his wife's medical bills. Then I paid a homeless shelter's rent. $45,000 back rent and $90,000 for 6 months ahead. She looked up. Why, I spent $228,000, most on people who needed help. I probably failed your test. I probably was too generous or too selfish, or I don't know. I don't understand how rich people think, but everyone I gave money to needed it, really needed it. So I did what felt right. The room was quiet. Victoria looked annoyed. Jennifer looked confused. Diane looked worried. Richard looked at Emma for a long time. The wheelchair for your daughter. You bought that first. Yes. Before the charity donations. Yes. Why? Emma's voice was quiet. Because I'm her mother. And she needed it. And I couldn't help anyone else until I knew she was okay. Maybe that's selfish. But it's the truth. Richard nodded. Then you donated for 5 other wheelchairs. $50,000. Why 5? Because I figured if I spent 8 on my daughter, I should spend way more on others. Balance it out. 5 seemed right. Then you gave money to your neighbor, your coworker. Why them? Because they needed it. And they're good people. Mrs. Chen takes care of Lily for free even though she can barely afford her own bills. Miguel works so hard and his wife is sick and the medical system is crushing him. They deserved help. And the homeless shelter? Because they were about to lose their building. 50 people would have nowhere to go. 135,000 saves 50 people. That math made sense. Richard stood, walked to window, looked out at the city. I've done this test 4 times. Every time, people reveal who they are. Most buy luxury items, justify with small donations. Some focus entirely on charity, but it feels calculated. Strategic. Like they're trying to impress me. You're the first person who bought something for yourself. Admitted it was selfish. Then overcompensated by giving away significantly more to others. Not strategically, not performatively, just because they needed it. He turned around. You're also the first person who didn't ask what I wanted to see. Didn't try to game the test. Just did what felt right. Emma didn't know what to say. Richard continued. Victoria, your purchases were strategic. Smart even, but calculated. You were thinking about optics, not impact. Jennifer, your purchases were self-indulgent. Charity donation felt like afterthought. Diane, your restraint was admirable, but it felt safe, scared, like you were afraid to make a mistake. He looked at Emma. You made mistakes. Probably. Spent too much on people you knew personally. Could be accused of favoritism. But you also showed something none of them did. Empathy. Real empathy. You saw need and responded. Generously. Without hesitation. Richard sat down. I'm giving the foundation directorship to Emma. The room erupted. Victoria stood. She's a waitress. No education, no experience running anything. She's run 2 jobs and raised a disabled daughter alone. That's more management experience than most executives have. But she has no credentials. She has judgment, character, compassion. That's what I need. Jennifer scoffed. She spent your money on her own daughter. Yes. And then spent 3 times that amount on others. That's exactly what I was looking for. Diane spoke up. Mr. Blackwell, with respect, I have an MBA. I've managed budgets. I know how to run programs. And Emma knows how to see people, really see them, know what they need. That's what this foundation requires. He looked at Emma. $50 million annual budget. You'll direct all spending, hire your team, make decisions, report to me quarterly. Operations are yours. Can you do that? Emma felt dizzy. I don't have a degree. I don't have experience. I don't know if I can. You just proved you can. You saw needs, prioritized, made tough calls about who to help and how much. That's the job. Will you do it? Emma thought about Lily, about Mrs. Chen, about Miguel, about the 50 people at the shelter, about all the other people out there who needed help, who the system had failed, who had no one to see them. Yes, I'll do it, Richard smiled. Good. You start Monday. Salary $200,000 a year. Health insurance for you and your daughter. Whatever support you need. Emma started crying. Couldn't help it. Victoria stormed out. Jennifer followed. Diane stayed. Looked at Richard. I don't understand. I gave to charity. Did everything right? You did everything safely, Richard said. Emma did everything honestly. That's the difference. After they left, Richard and Emma sat alone. Why me? Emma asked. Really? Why? Because 30 years ago, I was broke, had nothing. Someone gave me a chance. A loan I couldn't repay, told me to pay it forward instead. Help someone else when I could. I've been trying ever since, looking for people who would use resources the way I would, the way that person did for me. You're the first person I've found who gets it. Who sees people as people? Not statistics, not strategy, just people who need help. Emma nodded. What happened to the person who helped you? She died 10 years ago. Cancer. I tried to repay her. She refused. Said watching me succeed was payment enough. Told me to find someone else, someone unexpected, someone everyone else overlooked. I've been looking ever since. I won't let you down. I know you won't. That's why I chose you. Emma started at the foundation, learned everything, hired a team, set up programs, approved grants, helped thousands of families, medical equipment they couldn't afford, families with disabled kids, elderly people crushed by prescription costs, homeless shelters, community clinics. She saw all of them, made mistakes sometimes, but she learned, got better, never forgot what it felt like to be on the other side, to be the one needing help, to be invisible. Within 3 years, Emma's foundation helped 30,000 families, every dollar justified. Richard was thrilled. Emma still lived modestly. Same apartment, same car. Lily went to public school. Emma saved most of her salary because she remembered being broke, never wanted to forget. One day, a young single mother came to the foundation, needed money for her son's medical equipment, couldn't afford it, insurance denied, working 2 jobs, barely surviving. Emma approved the grant immediately, $20,000. The woman cried, asked how to thank her. Emma said, "You don't thank me, you pay it forward. Someday, when you can help someone else, that's how this works." The woman nodded, left. Emma watched her go, thought about Richard, about the test, about the black card, about how one decision changed everything. She'd bought the wheelchair, helped others, been honest about both. And it changed her life, changed Lily's life, changed thousands of other lives, all because she did what felt right instead of what felt strategic? What would you have done? Bought for yourself? Bought for others? Tried to game the test? Leave a comment? And if this story reminded you that honesty matters more than strategy, consider subscribing. Because everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves to be seen. And sometimes the person who seems least qualified is exactly the person who can do the most good. Because they remember what it's like to need help. And they'll never forget.